Greetings, everybody. It's Patty Janes again, and we're here talking about marketing in hospitality, tourism, recreation, leisure organizations, our big umbrella industry. We have moved through chapters 1, 2, and 3, and we are beginning chapter 4 this week. So, welcome to chapter 4. It's all about the marketing plan. Now, I know you've already gathered some data in our first assignment about what is the status of our industry in terms of how we formally look at marketing. And you told me that only 50% of the organizations you surveyed actually completed a formal marketing plan. And your data is not all that different from what we've studied over the last 10 years. And we really, as an industry, haven't moved considerably forward in terms of formalizing the approach to marketing. Yet, marketing has changed significantly, and how much we value it as an organization has also changed. Where we haven't really changed is how many of us really strategically approach the process. So after building on chapter 1 that introduced us to where we are as an industry in terms of how we think about marketing and how we approach marketing and how marketing has moved and changed over time. That first chapter is very important to set that stage about our industry in terms of marketing as a function. Chapters 2 and 3 really set the stage of the foundation of how we're uniquely different. We create these meaningful experiences for people and volunteers and employees and board members to engage with us in our unique industry. And we also want to create those experiences to make them very meaningful and ideally across 5 phases, as we learned. We also want to produce them in high quality, as chapter 3 summarized. Chapter 3, incredibly important because the base of all great marketing is, you got it, the quality of the experience. And if we create these meaningful, high quality experiences for our visitors, guess what? Marketing's a lot easier because they're going to not only hear the good word, positive word of mouth from others, they're going to believe our marketing communication when we send it to them because they've heard about it or they've been here and they've participated in our experience and they know we're going to take care of them and do something different. So chapters 1, 2, and 3 for me, incredibly important in this whole marketing in our industry process. As we move to chapter 4, that tends to be a more standardized approach to marketing. Marketing planning is a common discussion. You may have been introduced to it in other classes, but I know you have varying degrees of expertise with that. Some of you have seen them. Some of you have never seen a marketing plan. Some of you have written one, possibly for a fake or a startup business that you created in a class. But I tend to find very, very few of our students have ever engaged with a real life organization and really looked at not only theoretically what we have in marketing plans and should be there and why, but why organizational marketing plans might look pretty different from that and how they vary greatly. So in this week's exercises and lesson and readings and videos, you're challenged to do a few things. And one is certainly read chapter 4. And I'd like you to watch the video on PowerPoint and take the quiz and get them all right, all those questions. That would be great. That's certainly one of your steps. The other thing we want to do to tie in from what we learned last week about our telephone skills, you all conducted a mystery shop of an organization in our field and logged a few questions logged the answers to a few questions regarding how they handled that call. This week, I want you to look at our class's summary of that data and look at our collective phone calls to see how these X number of organizations did, but also compare those findings to data that I've gathered over 10 years regarding 1,000 organizations in our field and how they've handled those same calls. So this week, you're going to make a comparison between the data that our class gathered and the data that I've gathered over years, and to see, have we changed? Have we moved? How does it compare? How and what's going on in that aspect of our field? So similar kind of that we did a little bit to the marketing plans, but now we're looking specifically at these telephone skills because we know how many moments of truth did Baldrige say for the Ritz-Carlton? How many times can we impact people with that moment of truth, positively, negatively, or neutral? I hope you remember that answer, because I'll tell you that's over 1,000 moments of truth for that meeting planner. And that Baldrige award-winning company, the Ritz-Carlton, actually measured those moments of truth and looked at all of the distinctions in what we deliver, and it's no wonder producing high quality is so challenging. So with that, telephone skills being one of those distinctions, I find it fascinating to isolate one and learn from the data and learn where we're good and maybe where we're not so good, identifying ways to grow and develop, creating consistency, etc. So watch the video on the telephone skills I gathered, look at the data in the attachment of what you gathered, make a comparison, and post that on the discussion board. So you're going to read the chapter, you're going to do the telephone assessment. I'd also like you to look at marketing plans. So in this chapter, you have a number of real organization marketing plans that I want you to pick from, and pick one. Pick one, read it front to back, and you'll see a number of questions I want you to answer in terms of what you thought about the content of that plan and what you thought about the layout format. And then if you were the supervisor of the person who just gave you that marketing plan, what would you think about how effective it would be? And how professional is the document that you received? So I want you to evaluate one real organization plan, and you have a number that you can pick from. Got them here, and they're fascinatingly different. So honestly, I'd love for you to look at several, because I think you'll find, especially with the real marketing plans, there sometimes is very little consistency across them. And you'll see some organizations do one aspect of the marketing planning process incredibly well, others do something else. But one of the real marketing plans that's in that set is incredibly thorough, and it's one of the few I've ever seen in my life from an organization in an actual setting. Conversely, I want you to look at the student marketing plans, and this would be more along the lines of what I'm going to ask of you this semester, because it takes theoretical marketing constructs and we're going to apply that in each aspect of the organization that you analyze. So, for example, you'll take a look at several of the student plans. Again, links are provided to their plans, and I want you to read that front to back as well. Now, one unique thing about doing our online class is that you will only be doing your marketing plan on your own unless you elect to team up with someone in class, and you're welcome to do that. However, the plans you read are all team project plans, so don't be shocked when you read them, because you'll read perspective from maybe 2, 3, or 4 students and multiple target markets. Your plan will look different, and know every semester I do change some of the expectations, because marketing planning changes. The marketing plans students wrote 10 years ago or 5 years ago look pretty different from the ones we're writing today. So with that, you'll read one student plan, you'll read one real marketing plan, and you'll assess those things I indicated, and you'll put your responses in a link I provide to you. So this week again, you'll do those 3 things, and then the last thing I'll ask of you this week is you click on a link and you tell me when you and I can have 15 minutes together next week, and we can talk about the organization that you will write your marketing plan for. And I want to hear a little bit more about your goals, and I want to kind of summarize some of the things I know about you, and I want to meet you officially by phone, by Skype, or if by chance we're in the same town next week, maybe in person. So click on that link, tell me your availability. If none of the times I indicated work, completely fine. That's why there's an other box, and you tell me your schedule next week, whether it's day or night. I can make those arrangements quite flexible. So having said all that, welcome to our Chapter 4 discussion on marketing plans. Very excited to get you now into the marketing planning process after this week. Take a look at the materials. Always contact me if you have questions by phone, by Skype, by email, by text. And again, if I'm in your vicinity, I'll gladly make an appointment to help make this a better experience for you. So thanks again for your great work. Looking forward to working with you this week.